So measuring account-based impact, how is this effectively done? Definitely not MQLs. I can promise you that right now. But when it comes to what to measure, there are three buckets we heavily consider you looking into when you're thinking about attribution from an ABM standpoint. And one thing to note, definitely want to chat about this right up front. It's if you could see like all the way down at the bottom of these three, we have comparing performance. One thing that you want to do in the beginning of your program is using your selection criteria for your target accounts. Also apply that and find a control group or a lookalike non-ABM account group. And why this is so critical is in order to articulate to your leadership, the board, to even your cross-functional teams, the lift that ABM has made within your target account groups, showing how, we've seen XYZ impact, let's say velocity, for example, across our target account groups versus this control group. That's how you can really highlight the causation versus purely correlation. Um, and so when you've got these three different buckets, thinking about that for sure, but also diving into what each of these encompasses. So the first one being reach. How are you, from a coverage standpoint, how many accounts are you covering and why? What industries? What's the overall account mix? And then also the database completeness. So this is a big piece, especially if you're going after net new accounts. Are you contributing to actually adding valuable contacts who are part of the buying group? What does the database look like? Have you cleaned it in some capacity? This is something that I think can get overlooked a bit from a objective standpoint when initially launching your programs. Like, definitely do not discount reach. That's a really important piece. And then uh, the two strongest metrics where your executive teams will, this is where they'll probably focus the most and where their eyes will light up when you're showing the metrics. One is grow revenue. So what are you having in terms of an impact on source, influence, close one? And then also deal velocity. So are you helping to progress these opportunities through the sales cycle, whether it's taking it from, start to finish? Is that faster, or just progressing through the stages faster within your ABM accounts versus your non-ABM control group? And then also the third bucket here being increasing engagement. And in the next few slides, we're going to dive way deeper into actually defining engagement and how this can play out. But looking at overall account engagement. So from an account standpoint, if you're running, let's say, growth ABM, and you're working to get net new accounts from that, not really showing a lot of intent or engagement signals up to hitting our defined threshold of a MQA, or marketing qualified account. And then how many accounts have you, brought from not being engaged up to engaged, that being another great metric, or just looking at account engagement as in general if you're going after an expansion play. And then the most important being buying group engagement. So of the contacts who you have tagged within your CRM as being part of the buying group or associated with open opportunities in your target accounts, what does their engagement look like? And what's the percentage of the buying group that is engaged? And then bookings being another great metric to look at. All of these, again, like use that control group as the way to articulate the impact that your program is making in each of these different lanes. So account mix, again, this has such a big impact. Cannot stress that enough, especially when it comes to, your metrics and just ABM in general. Like if you think about if you're running a net new acquisition play, think about whether you're going after creating new opportunities or you're working to convert existing. If you are just starting ABM for the first time and you have a smaller team and maybe you don't have the greatest content mix, I would heavily advise picking either or. Don't try to go with, a complete full funnel approach right off the bat because it's going to be a heck of a lot, especially as you're moving accounts through. And then, you know, 2 through 4, pick one of those in particular, and then go back and select the metrics that make the most sense based off of what account mix that you've chosen. So when it comes to measuring engagement, you want to look at it from both the contact level and then also from the overall account level. And the most important piece from the overall account level, definitely work to either use within your existing tech stack or would highly suggest looking and trying to find someone who can help uncover or de-anonymize web traffic from your target accounts. That is a great